In Joseon, in 1800, the King Jungjo died. Jungjo had been trying to reform the country by listening to the Silhakpa scholars. The Silhakpa scholars were the progressives in modern days who wanted to learn new things from Qing dynasty and from the Catholics. The conservatives who held the power for a long time by holding on to the value of Neo-Confucianism were pushed out of the power during the reign of Jungjo. In 18th century, Catholicism came to Joseon from China. The Catholics who came to Joseon brought new Western ideas and things with the religion. The Silhakpa scholars were very much interested in the new ideas and things from the West. So they became Catholics. Majority of them became Catholics. And some of them did not like the religion. However, they wanted to learn about the new ideas and things the Catholics brought with them. So the Catholics were called as the Western studies. The conservatives saw an opportunity to get back to the power that they enjoyed for a long time. The Confucianism worshipped the ancestors, but the Catholics worshipped the Christian God and Jesus Christ. So there was a big difference, and it is obviously against the value of Confucianism that the people believed in. In 1801, 1 year after Jungjo died, Joseon government prosecuted several hundred of Catholics, accusing them of refusing to worshiping ancestors. Since then, Joseon government ceased to reform the country by employing the new ideas and things from the West. Since then, the Joseon government never listened to the Silhak scholars who wanted to reform the government in a way, the government for the people. But a few scholars continued to study and write the book, but their ideas never surfaced in real world, and they remained just as a theory. After the demise of the progressives by the prosecution of Catholics, the power politics by the relatives of queens began. The creator of the power politics by relatives of queens was Kim Jo-sun. During the reign of King Jungjo, Kim Jo-sun was one of the conservatives, but he sided with the progressives. In other words, he was for King Jungjo's policy. Jungjo thought that Kim would carry on his policies after he died. So he chose Kim's daughter to be the wife of the prince, and the prince became the king Sunjo when he was only 15. So Kim was appointed as the proxy of the king and he could exercise tremendous power as he wanted. Kim's family was from Andong, Gyeongsang-buk-do, the southeast section of Korea. Almost all the cabinet positions were filled with the Kims. And these guys sold government positions throughout the country to the people who paid the big money. And the government officials who got the position by bribery had to recover the money that he paid and also had to get some profits. They did that by taxing the people illegally. At the time, people paid the tax with rice, and they didn't care how much rice people needed to live on. They took away any amount they wanted. Consequently, people's lives were impoverished. Starving farmers rebelled, and there are frequent internal unrest. People were yearning for the spiritual rescue, and the Cheondogyo appeared. It advocated equality and humanity in the society of the class discrimination. It was appealing to the people. This homegrown religion was also called as the Eastern study, whereas the Catholicism was called as the Western study. The Kims briefly intervened by the Chos, who were relatives of queens, ruled Chosun for 60 years, went through 3 kings, and people were very, very poor, and the country was very weakened. This is the end of chapter 5. In chapter 6, we will talk about what had happened in Qing dynasty. This is mainly about Taiping Rebellion and the Opium War.